Welcome to Moments for Moms. I'm your host, Ashley McLean, and I'm so excited that you have joined me today. This show is a part of the Amplify Podcast Network, where ideas echo and voices resonate. So, if you're anything like me, moments are something that as moms, we don't get many of. My hope is that you can walk away from each episode encouraged, inspired, and recharged to continue on this amazing and sometimes exhausting journey we're on together called motherhood. So consider this your invitation to grab a cup of coffee or tea and take this moment just for you. Welcome to Moments for Moms. I'm so excited for you to join me on this episode today. We're going to hear from my new friend, Fiona Culley Langham, and she's going to tell us an incredible journey that she's been on with her son, Huxley. We're going to learn all about GLUT1 deficiency, which I've never even heard of before. You guys are going to be so encouraged. We're also going to hear a new home hack from Stephanie, a moment of mental health from Dr. Gibbs. So grab a cup of coffee or tea and take a moment just for you. Hey friends, I'm so excited that you're joining us. And as I told you before, my new friend Fiona is here. And Fiona, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. Love your accent. It is my favorite.
Does it still sound English though? You know, I've been here 10 years and...
That's amazing.
I know.
It does.
Every day I'm like, am I still British?
You are. You very much are. I'm somebody that's not.
Okay,
You
good.
very much are.
Good.
Thank you for coming. I love that we were connected by one of our mutual friends, and your story is just incredible. And the couple of videos that you sent me on Instagram, I just like some of those images. I can't imagine going through that as a mom. So tell me first a little bit about your family and about yourself so everybody can get to know you.
So I moved to Nashville 10 years ago. Now, I think it's almost 11 for music originally. So I signed to a label and I was making music and I moved here. It feels like a lifetime ago, honestly.
Right.
And then I met my husband 9 years ago.
Okay. That was pretty quick.
I'd been here just over a year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He actually sold me a car. He had a car dealership. And he sold me a car, and I was like, oh, sold a car, got a husband. But we were together for a long time before we actually got married. We got married actually 4 years ago this weekend.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. So, that was kind of, you know, when we got together, he's from here, I'm from England. We were very, very different people, very, very different upbringings, everything was different. Sure. And so I think having that time to date for so long was important for us. Yeah. Even though that's not a thing here, I feel like everybody gets married within the year when they meet people here.
I think we were engaged or dating for 3.5 years before we got engaged.
Which here is considered like a really long time.
And I felt like it was.
Yes. Well, actually, by the time I got to 5 years, I was kind of like, hang on a minute, why are all these people around me now on their like second baby? And we're still, you know, we're still dating. We're still eating steaks. What's happening? Like, so we got married 4 years ago. And I still make music. I've, you know, that was always my passion. Yes. That's why I ended up being here. It definitely has been put to the side. But the good thing about that is that there's always something to go back to and you can always go back to it. It's not, there's no deadline with that. So, but it took me a long time to know that. I think I was for a long time trying to chase both things and not happy with that and not doing a good enough job of that. And so now being able to put that aside and focus on what's important, which currently right now is, you know, my children.
Right.
I have 2 young children. I have Huxley Langham. He is 2.5, I say, almost 3. And I have Serafina Rain, and she is 9 months old.
Love it. And they're so beautiful.
They really are.
Yes.
They are these little blondie babies, which is hysterical because my husband is very dark and, you know, people always think he's Middle Eastern actually, which is hilarious because he's from Louisiana. So, and wherever we go, anywhere, people trying to speak Farsi to him, they think he's Iranian or Persian.
Wow.
Which is funny because my sister's husband is Persian.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, everywhere we go, and he's like, oh, I'm... Yeah. One time, this because he's a car dealer too.
Right.
And so one time, this very old.
So he's still doing that.
Yes.
Well, okay.
Yeah. This old guy, this old Persian man was like, "Why are you not speaking your tongue?" And he was like, "I'm from Bogalusa, Louisiana. I don't know Persian." So to have these like little blondie babies is really funny.
That's so funny. Charlie's blonde too, and I'm. Not darker skin, but I do have a little bit of a darker skin. I'm Italian, so darker hair. And Charlie has zero Italian in him. He is blonde. He looks like my husband, and everybody always comments on that. I'm like, I know. It's just crazy. You just never know.
Maybe they'll just, get darker hair as time. Or maybe Serafina will get some hair. She's still bald, so.
She's 9 months though, right?
She is, yeah. It's just a big old bald head.
That's so funny. And we were talking about her earlier.
Yes.
So just to kind of get into Huxley's story a little bit and what you dealt with. And we were talking about how with Serafina, like I was commenting on your videos because Charlie's 2 and he doesn't want to eat anything. Everything's gross except for a hot dog and some veggie noodles. So I was just watching her, like you feeding her and thinking like, oh, I remember when he would just eat whatever like was on the spoon and loved it. And now it's just like, food is all like consumes my life. I'm always thinking about who's eating what. Do we have food in the house? And it's exhausting.
Food literally consumes my life.
For sure it does. So let's go into Huxley's story a little bit here.
So when Huxley was 3.5 months old, he was born in August, and that was COVID. So we'd already spent 2020 kind of alone anyway. But I will never forget, it was like November 18th. We were at home and I was taking him up to bed and I looked at him and I was about to put him in his crib and I looked at him and he just wasn't breathing. Like he was stiff. He was just in the horror in his eyes. And I completely panicked and ran straight downstairs, got in the car and drove to the hospital. I actually didn't even put him in the car seat.
I wouldn't have either.
It was funny because I actually got reprimanded by one of the doctors and I was like, do you have children?
What?
He did not, actually.
Of course he did.
I was like,
who would do that?
But yeah, I drove to the emergency room. I called my husband on the way and I said, he's not breathing. And, it's my first baby. And he was very calm on the phone. He said he would meet me at the emergency room, but tell me what's happened. At the time, we lived 8 minutes from Vanderbilt. So that's another reason why I drove there and didn't call an ambulance because I was like...
You could get there faster, probably,
and I meet him at the doors of the emergency room because of COVID, 2 people can't go in.
Right.
So he wanted to meet me outside first so that we could speak and he could find out what's going on because he knew that once I went in there, and at this point he was now breathing again and he had the hiccups and he was like, he was fine. And so, we get there and my husband looks him over and he was like, he seems fine. Like what? And I for a second thought he's fine. This must just be. And then he did it again right there in my husband's arms. And actually, my husband ran in with him. And because
that would be your reaction to panic.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah.
Like when watching your videos, I was just even trying. Like I feel like being a mom, like for me personally, has come with so much fear and anxiety that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
So just like watching some of your videos and then like seeing some of the pictures with him like hooked up to stuff and something on his head and like I just like tears were coming in my eyes because I just, as a mom, I can't imagine. I would panic too. I would absolutely not put Charlie in a car seat. No. So I totally understand that and I can't wait. This is such an incredible story. So we have to take a short break. So we are here and we're talking to Fiona. And Fiona, you're here sharing your incredible story. We were just talking about your baby Huxley. And now we got to the point where now you thought that he wasn't breathing. You didn't thought he was not breathing and you rushed him to the emergency room. He came back your husband got there and he did it again. So now your husband's running in with him. So pick up where we left off.
So we get to the emergency room, and at that point he still wasn't breathing. And so they, at this point had just taken all his clothes off, and he's on this bed, and it's, he was tiny. He was 3.5 months old. So, and at this point I'm just in shock, and everyone's rushing around everywhere doing all the things. And they confirmed that it seemed like a seizure. They gave him medicine, and they admitted us for 5 days. And from after that night, he didn't have another seizure. So we spent 5 days there, and they're just kind of like, well, he seems fine. Because other than these episodes, he was fine. He wasn't, no fever, no sickness. He actually they did a multitude of tests. They did a lumbar puncture, and actually the results from that lumbar puncture that first night would have been the diagnosis if they had known that that is the diagnosis. And so we leave a week later, and they just say, well, it probably was a virus, and he's fine now, and they send us home. And so we go home, and we, I tried to put it behind me. He seemed sleepy, and now I'm like hyper vigilant of everything.
I was going to say, did you just like stare at the baby monitor all night?
Pretty much.
Because that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I do that anyways. And
I was just like driving. I told my husband, I was like, I'm dangerous driving in the car because, with the trying to see, I'm like, I'm not concentrating. I'm not, because I'm looking at him all the time. I hated driving. Luckily I wasn't going many places. Anyway, 2 weeks later, I'm at home. One of my girlfriends over. We're making dinner. My husband was at work, and she is feeding him a bottle, and she said, "Babe, something's happening." And I look at him, and he's not breathing again. And so we go back to the emergency room. This time he had 15 seizures. They were confirmed as seizures, and we were admitted again. And this is now December because it was a couple of weeks later. And we're admitted again, and this time they say, okay, we're going to do genetic testing. We're going to find out what these seizures are. But in the meantime, we're just going to, medicate him to stop them because, they do damage. And so my baby that was like happy and smiley and all the things is now very drugged up and doesn't really do much now. And we're discharged again because obviously until those results come back, and it fast forward a few days, we're home, and it's getting to Christmas time, and I am just like, I did not feel, my husband and I did not feel like it was enough to just sit and wait for these results to come back for 6 weeks. So we went to try and find a second opinion. And it was crazy because a woman from Instagram that I'd met at a girls' brunch a couple of years before messaged me and was like, you need to go and see this doctor at Centennial. My husband knows him. I can get you in. And I'm like, because these neurologists, it's a long time. There's 6 weeks minimum wait list. So on Christmas Eve, we get in to see Dr. Pina Garza. His name is Jesus. And when I get the email over, it said Jesus. And I'm like, okay, it's Christmas Eve. We're going to see Jesus. Here we are. And we go to see him, and he actually put my mind at rest a little bit and was just like, I think this is childhood epilepsy. I'm not sure, but Huxley seems fine, and let's take his medication down though. This is too much for his body, for his age. And then we go home and we try and get through Christmas, and I'm just waiting for these results. And then on the 27th, a new seizure arrives, but it's not a seizure. As it turns out, it was a rapid eye movements. It's like he was chasing flies, and we call Dr. Pina Garza, and he says, just come in. So we go in to Centennial now. We've changed hospitals. And my husband has done all this reading. And at this point, my husband knows that it's one of two things, but hasn't told me this at this point because I am a wreck. And his very smart engineer mind has just he reads. That's what he does. He is very good at that, and he knows that it's one of two things, and one, he will not make it much longer, and the other one is glucose transport disorder, which is a lack of glucose to the brain, so it doesn't get through the blood brain barrier. And so it's like an energy crisis of the brain, which causes these seizures.
Wow.
And New Year's Eve, we're in Centennial. We were just, we were allowed to be in Centennial together, actually, unlike Vanderbilt that had the one-parent rule.
Yes.
And because of the severity of what's happening, we were allowed to be together. And we get the results back, and he has glucose transport disorder. They tell me immediately, you have to stop breastfeeding. We have to get him on a medical ketogenic diet, which is food.
Right.
It's not medication. We help his brain by getting ketones to his brain. And so we go back to Vanderbilt, start the ketogenic diet, and start our journey now on feeding his brain with ketones. And, I could talk to you all day about what that looks like, but long story short, fast forward, and he now lives a relatively normal existence because of food, because of what I feed him, and all his food is weighed and measured. And because of that, he's doing well. The average diagnosis for this condition is 4 to 5 years old. So these children have starved of energy for that long. There's only about 2,000 people diagnosed, but there's about 14,000 people out there that have it that don't know yet.
I've never heard of it until I've got connected with you.
Yeah, it's rare, but it's not that rare. It's just underdiagnosed.
Right.
And if Huxley was diagnosed in 40 days.
Wow.
And because of my husband's reading, and because the Lord just took over and guided us where we needed to go, and then he just was in all of it. And we don't know what his outcome will be, because it's not, most children aren't diagnosed that young, but he has balance issues, but he does therapy, and we just continue to just pray that what we're doing will be enough, and he is a miracle really already.
It's so miraculous, and just seeing how the Lord led your steps, and your husband, and how how God brings us together. Because I would be like you, total panic if Bobby knew that, okay, here's 2 possible outcomes. One, he's not going to make it. The other one could possibly be this. I don't think he would tell me, and Bobby's my husband, sorry. I don't think he would tell me either, because with the fear and anxiety that I do struggle with, I would go to the other one, constantly, he's not gonna make it, he's not gonna make it, he's not gonna make it, and just live in that. And how we only have a minute left, and I wish we had so much more time. How can you encourage a mom that might be going through, this is traumatic, this is terrifying, how can you encourage them? What was your encouragement to them?
I would say do whatever your gut says, first and foremost. Question everything, question everyone. And don't give up hope. Just don't give up hope. Yes. Because if you would have told me 2 years ago that I would be in this peaceful place now, absolutely would never have thought or imagined that. Yeah. But it is possible. But you have to dig deep, and you have to just pray, honestly, that you can find that peace, because it is out there.
It is, absolutely. Okay, and quickly, the Glute One Foundation. Tell me just quickly about that too.
Glute One Foundation is a community that we have, that we're all moms with children with Glute One, or now adults. Right. There's a lot of new diagnosis happening now, and the diagnosis age is getting younger. So it's a community of us, and we're always just trying to raise awareness. My Instagram, posting the video of his seizures and his movements was very convicting for me. But there was a child in Russia diagnosed from my video. Oh, wow. So I think it doesn't matter what I think. Yes. It's it has to be out there. Right. Because that is helping people. Absolutely. And we'll make sure we put that up on the screen and your Instagram. And I can't thank you enough for coming and sharing. And I'm so grateful for the miracle that Huxley is, and it's such a joy to watch him. So.